You see, there are gonna be some times in your life where you feel like it is all over. And these are the moments in your life, the ones that make you feel so overwhelmed, that determine who you truly are. See, a pioneer, they will never surrender. They will never retreat. They will never give in to people, to their own issues, to their own circumstances. They'll never give in to somebody else's demands, to their struggles. See, you're going to fail and you're going to be in your head and you're going to be saying, I'm not good enough. But life has a way of humbling you. Life will make you shut up for a minute and mute you for a minute and put you on pause. Shut you down. Because all of us, if we live long enough, will go through a period of feeling so overwhelmed. If the phone rings one more time, if I get one more text, if I get just one more struggling problem in my life, God, just get me out of this. At times you won't want to come out of the house. I can't go outside today. You'll be feeling bad, not knowing what's wrong. I don't know, just leave me alone is what you'll scream. What happened? I don't know is what you'll scream. It's called life, and you gotta deal with it. Can I get a hello? Don't you give up on your dreams. Don't you give up on your outcome. Don't you do it. Don't you give up on yourself. Don't you ever quit. Never surrender. Never retreat. Fourth quarter overtime. You got to decide that the behavior pattern that you've adopted, it no longer works for you. You've got to create a new one. A better one. You got to change your strategies. And changing your strategies means reinventing your life, recreating you, manifesting your own reality and destiny. And you have the power inside of you, your mind, neuroplasticity to do that. You gotta and you have to wanna take responsibility for your life. You can decide right now, today, that you're gonna change, that you're not gonna be some punk. I got me here, I can get me out of it. And it simply starts with making your bed when you get up every morning. First thing you do, if you accomplish that, you've already completed one task. You can accomplish anything. I'm not gonna no longer be a volunteer victim. You can decide right now, today, that you're gonna stand up to life. You can either decide to let it hold you down, or you can decide to let it lift you up. You can decide that I'm going to live each day as if it's my last. I'm going to work on myself and develop myself. I'm going to empower me and no one else around me. And all of the things that are happening to me right now that are inconveniences are just temporary. They're not stumbling blocks. They're not trials and tribulations, obstacles I can't overcome. They're just challenges, inconveniences. But I am not phenomenally skilled for nothing, or phenomenally willed for nothing. I will not give up. I will not surrender. I will not quit. I will never retreat. And if I get knocked down, I bet you I'm damn sure getting back up. I'll never surrender. I'll never back down. I need to match whatever effort the enemy is putting up and then go beyond that. I need you to match that same effort. I need you to demand integrity and determination, dedication, hard work, blood, sweat, and tears, and then stand firm in your beliefs. Speak your truths. What you say, what it means to you is your world. If it ain't for you, then get the fuck away from it. This shit is for soldiers, man. This shit is for warriors and pioneers, man. To how much is given, even much more is required. With great power comes great responsibility. You cannot build anything in life that won't bring a battle, a struggle. And if you're going through a battle right now today, it's only because you're building something. Can I get a hello? It may last for a second, it may last for a minute, it may last for an hour, a day, a week, a month, or years. But sooner or later, if you do the work, and if you do not ever surrender, never retreat, then you'll be a winner and not a victim, stuck in complacency. And if you don't give in, you can be a victor. And you can say, despite the odds, I will define anything that stands in my way. What will you do with your pain? Will it let it break you, or will you let it redefine you? You got to continue to work on yourself day in and day out. Decide to be relentless. Be the poster child for resiliency. You have got to find some reason within you to be better that will give you stamina to keep going. Because when life catches you on the blind side and knocks you down, you've got to have the stamina, the grit, the willpower, the determination to keep on going, to get back up, to keep on striving for your purpose, to keep on answering your calling again and again and again. Are you going to quit, or are you going to make it to your higher self? Are you going to quit, or are you going to make it to your outcome? Because life is a fight. Never surrender, never retreat. It's a fight for character, integrity, reputation, for your fortress, your legacy, your dreams, your visions. Because they don't give you these things in life when you're born. Every morning, we got to wake up and we got to fight. Fight for our dreams. Fight for our character. Fight for integrity and our future generation that will follow us. You got to be ready to fight and bounce back when you're up against the ropes and in the corner. You better not feel sorry for yourself. You better not lay down and quit. You better get up and fight. Because a happy spirit can never, ever be destroyed. See, in fact, if a happy spirit stops being happy, it'll die. If a happy spirit starts going backwards, it will die. So you gotta think, execute, and you gotta win. Because you've been trained to win. Your gods and goddesses within, with amnesia, it's time to wake up, and that's how you get to the next level. You gotta be disciplined every single day and train yourself to follow through on all the fundamentals, all the basics, and that's how you learn success. You gotta do it when you don't feel like it. You gotta do it when you feel discouraged, when you're hurt and in pain, when you don't feel healthy, when you're under the weather. Every single day, you gotta train yourself, your mind, your spirit, and commit to yourself and follow through. And don't ever quit. Never back down. Do anything you do with 100%, and you too will win. Because what you believe in your hearts and speak in your minds will eventually become your words and your reality one day. And what you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mindset. And what gets ingrained in your subconscious mindset becomes an unconscious action and an unconscious activity. And I've always just wanted mine to be guideful, helpful, and nurturing to others. So I'm sending you all much love and high vibrations out to wherever you are in this matrix and galaxy. Because to me, it's always been about giving a man or woman a fish so that they can eat for a day, but then leaving them that fishing rod so that they can learn to fish and eat for a lifetime. But before I leave, also teaching them how to farm so that they can one day feed nations. So this episode's going to be another Wop Bamboozle National Preparedness Month, the month of September episode. This month has solely been about the events and just the things that we could see coming in our realm and reality in the near distant future. Not just around cryptocurrency and finance, but around geopolitical, war, economy, economics, and everything else in between. Even a little entertainment and some of your favorite artists and actors, etc. we'll be talking about today. So we see that September, it is a very, very special time period, and a lot of strange periods, a lot of strange things are happening according to some very specific dates towards the end of September, something we've been talking about for quite some time. And early October, from the Queen's passing recently that we prepared you for ahead of time for months, to Justin Bieber canceling his most recent concert. All of this might not seem connected, but guess what? It all is. It is all pointing towards the end of September and October, November, the eclipses, and December, Saturnalia. Very ritualistic time periods and very important things to pay attention to. We have next month Samhain, the birthday of Bitcoin coming up, so it's very, very important we pay attention to what is going on the world stage, because the world is a show. So go ahead and get your popcorn ready, kick back, relax, light up your favorite strand, grab your favorite drink, and enjoy another episode of the Daily Candle Close News, sending you much love and high vibrations. Never let anything fear you in this episode or anything we do here. Resonate with what you resonate with, and then if it, aligns with you in a deep moral, inside, intuition, purpose, then run with it, go, but find your truth and then go from there. That's all we ask. View this with discernment, the ability to judge well. But we see the Pope Francis has said that all the money of the banks in the world need to be moved by September 30th to the Vatican Bank. Very interesting. Is this a signal because it's happening right after the Queen and her passing, or it happened right before the Queen and her passing, and now we see this, and we know she had her platinum jubilee, and I've been sharing with my pioneers how we're coming up on the 50-year biblical debt jubilee that they talk about in the Bible and all these other hidden scriptures and cultures all around the world. So one day after September 30th and the Pope says that money has to be moved to the Vatican, we're going to see Germany is going to have on October 1st German platoons and officers patrolling the streets. So also on September 30th, we're going to see that the Bank of England is going to be withdrawing all of their legal tender of 20 and 50 banknotes. Okay, so very symbolic right here. They're talking about doing this on September 30th, the 322, the 30th, September 30th, and the 22 year, that skull and bones number we talk about. So very, very esoteric. What's going on with the money in the world? We've been preparing you for this financial shift like 1971 for 3 years now. They're talking about banknotes and the new ones having possible GPS microchips in them. So, to each their own. I'm not getting into all that. I'm just sharing with you what's been said going around. So, Microbank is moving cash services from 70 branches. We've seen banking and branches in America shut down since C-19. Remember, they said there was a coin shortage and bank and money was dirty. It holds C-19. So the fact that this is all happening around September and October, around the beginning of Rosh Hashanah and the end of the Shemitah, the 7-year sabbatical year, more importantly, the 7th 7-year sabbatical year, the biblical jubilee year, has everything to do with the debt jubilee and a new monetary system a more socialist, controlled, globalist system of central bank digital currencies, track, trace, and tag, something you're not going to want to be a part of and are going to want to get into cryptocurrencies with real use case utility ahead of times. So all of this just adding up. Again, these major events are happening around the end of the Shemitah, where we tend to see things like 9/11, war, etc., like I've explained for over a year now. So why around September, October, Denver is giving out free bug out bags for people to prepare for the month of September, National Preparedness Month, which is why we did Wake Me Up when September ends video and National Preparedness Month video. September 18th is going to be the Queen's funeral, roughly 7 days before the start of Rosh Hashanah and the end of the Shemitah. I see the 21st through the 24th being a very, very powerful time period where we could prepare for some news or some narrative, an event that could be so traumatic that we will remember this date forever and where we were at. So get ready for this possibility. Something is happening in the background right now, and it looks like certain people are preparing for what is going on, and I'm going to share this with you. Michael Burry has recently been out here warning about another market crash, and he predicted the housing market crash and was wrong until he was right. He was crazy until he was right, and now all of a sudden we see them coming out here roughly telling us yesterday that the 2008 housing market crisis mortgage rates just hit that same high. Wow. You know, we could be the next Michael Burrys and the next ones that set up our families for generations to come if we prepare for what is happening right now. What we've been preparing our pioneers for here on the Daily Candle Close News for going on 3 years now come March. So very important. Really, now that it's September 2019, when we saw them pump the repo liquidity injections in the markets, then the feds to save it from crashing, I knew something was coming in. So it's really our 3-year anniversary right now today. Thank goodness. Happy anniversary, you guys. But we see since the Queen has passed away, they're saying Europe could experience a devastating Lehman Brothers event as power producers face 1.5 trillion in margin calls. In the year of the tiger, we specifically share how important that 15 number is. The Queen, she ruled over 15 Commonwealth realms. We are in the year of the tiger in the Chinese New Year. Tiger giving us that 15 being a bad luck symbol. The Bengals lost the Super Bowl. They lost the first game of this year. Both games 20-23. The 2-2-3 tying us into skull and bones. But the Chinese New Year that we are in, the tiger. So all of this being very important. This number symbolic connections we see here. So we've got to pay attention to these events that we see. Excuse me, let me get a drink of water. We know that this 5-1 number is highly tied into the Illuminati's birthday. Internationally written, it would be 1515, or in America we would write it May 5th, 5-1. So as above, so below. Very occultic, symbolic number that we have got to continue to pay attention to. We know the Queen died at 96. 9 plus 6 is 15. Okay? She died 911 days after the World Health Organization declared a pandemic and shut the world down. So, 911. We just passed that date. Okay? So, They say that 33 million people watched the Queen's death. We know that's that very transmutative number tying us into what some would say the Illuminati and the Freemasons. It's tying us into so much more than that. It's an alchemical process transmutation number that we explain here for over a year now. So we see that some events are happening in the background, and we have got to continue to pay attention to what is going on in our matrix and realm. What are these entertainers doing and getting ready for? We see people are canceling shows right now, preparing. Why are they canceling their tours? Weezer cancels planned Broadway for the upcoming months. So, first I thought it was just a few people, but no, it is not. It is Luke Combs who, is claiming his voice isn't up to par. And then we see even more, Shawn Mendes cancels all tours to take time for personal reasons. It's wild. Everybody's distracted with the Queen and Russia, Ukraine, and the inflation. Will and Chris, Johnny and Amber Heard, and still wearing their mask even though the CDC has came out and redacted everything that they ever said. We're seeing videos and evidence and things come out that show those who took these inoculations are, some could be in grave harm in the near distant future. Is this all a distraction around the Queen's death? Do they know that something's coming? The art of war is to seem powerful when you're weak and weak when you're powerful. I really think it's a distraction, you guys. Narratives, nonsense. If everyone's looking one way, then nobody's looking the other. So with all these individuals canceling, like Shawn Mendes, Carlos Santana canceling all his upcoming tour dates. All of these tours are for September, October, November, December, where a lot of astrologers are saying some sort of violence and debt jubilee. Violence could happen over economic collapse and a great reset that we know the World Economic Forum has been warning and campaigning and marketing about. So what in the world is going on that they're not telling us on our Broken Compass news? But what the Daily Candle Closed News is always out here preparing you for. Foo Fighters. It says bye-bye to their tour. Mandy Moore, no more tour. So what is going on in the background, you guys? Even more cancelizations. Rage Against the Machine says no Europe tour. I mean, they can't all be going to the Queen's funeral. I mean, they can't all be this occultically, in that circle together. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, the baby can't get ticket sales? What? I thought he sold out stadiums. Anyways, I'm just saying. The Weeknd canceling his Los Angeles concert mid-performance after losing his voice. This kind of reminds me of the 1,300 CEOs that we saw step out of their position right before we saw C-19 and the bear flu, the fake pandemic that was planned right after Event 201 that took place 2 months earlier. Go and do your research if you haven't seen one of our videos where we explain Event 201, which was held by Johns Hopkins University and Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, etc., the World Economic Forum, where they held a planned simulation where, what would happen if there was a virus outbreak and millions of people died, and then 2 months later we see C-19. It's just, how many coincidences over time can we see before we start seeing with our third eye and not the two eyes on the side that lie? So again, none of this is ever for me to come out and to cause fear to you. That is one of the weaker forms of the ego, and I'm not with that. People try to say stay away from your ego, that's bad or whatever, and I'm actually against that. I believe that you should be humble, knowing when you're in your weak ego. I know it's when people say, I know the real truth, and I know the real diet, and I know what's really gonna happen, and it's like, were you out here calling the Queen's death to the date, before the end of the Shemitah year, would it documented, or are you just saying what's right because you were indoctrinated through your education system, which is the Latin word for educare, which means to bring out, not put in information, which keeps you in formation, and in your jobs you're just over broke and you wonder why you're still struggling. It's this, I think I know everything without doing any bit of research. When you get home from your jobs or school or whatever, you just want to kick your shoes off Netflix and chill, watch your sporting events, your TikToks and your WAP videos. See, I know the difference between ego, and I know what's my way. And this is why when I speak as if I'm talking to a million people, and I speak my truths, encouraging others to speak their truths. Because whether or not you believe there is your truth or my truth or a truth, a certain truth, because when somebody comes up to me and says there is just one truth, and the idea that my truth is just bullshit, because that's just their opinion, everybody's entitled to it, I could probably show them 100 different ways where they themselves have literally created their own truth and then identified it as the truth because they lack wisdom. And they're operating in this ultra conscious realm of logic, where they're really activating and still acting out of is right here in their root space, hell, and not in their heart space, with a brain-heart coherent space, so that they can ascend to heaven, their crown chakra. People were so logically minded in the left logic hemisphere of the brain, which is like the furthest thing from consciousness, true raw enlightenment. And that's what I'm here to teach. The human thinks they know so much, and I've been victim to this, that they bury themselves in their own knowing. And this is how the cult is developed, because the cult believes they know, they figured it out, their truth is it, everyone else is nonsense. And this is the real religion, the real astrology, the real whatever. I'm here to say, use all the religions and find the hidden truths in all of them, and discern from the fake truths and misinformation and the real truths. I'm here to say, use all the astrologies, traditional, Babylonian, Vedic, sidereal, numerology, pi, the periodic table of elements, facts, figures, numbers, logic, common sense, and have fun. Use it all, just don't let it use you. But people believing that one form is more real than the next, we're just psyching ourselves out, falling for somebody else's groupthink. Everything in life has value. The person who broke your heart in high school because you were in love with them, they have value. The person that took advantage of you and hurt you in ungodly ways, they have value. The person that you meet at the gas pump, at the bar tomorrow, or at work has value. When you have the eye to see that it's all about you seeing the opportunity within all things around you, within yourself. You are the one, Neo. You're the one looking down at the game being played, okay? You're not the one down there stuck in that weaker form of ego, and instead of playing the games, you're the architect. You're watching the games. The architect doesn't have time for this real and this fake and this right and wrong and this left and right, up and down duality, consciousness bullshit. This same frame of thinking is why one person thinks that their truth is the real truth, or their God is the real God, even though there's 10,000 religions, so every other God must not be real, when we're all gods and goddesses with amnesia. And that's what it's about, remembering, you know. So sometimes when people hear my work and my take on things, they think I'm just jabbing them in the side and their truth and just shattering their beliefs. And it's like, no, I'm trying to tell you who's observing this work to snap out of that indoctrinated mindset and evolve, unlearn, and just start remembering. Take the eyes on the side that lie and close them. Move from your mind back to your heart, so your pineal gland, your Ajna chakra, your third eye can see again. Because from there, it's impossible to get parasited. You have no limitations there. There, you have control. You are at that point the star in your own movie and not an extra in somebody else's blockbuster. And what I mean by control, and this form of control, is the control of yourself. Self-recognition, not the things around you, materialistic things or whatever. It's you finally learning the mechanism and the skill and the craft, the process of controlling oneself, yourself. That requires an ultimate level of forgiveness of anything. And to let go of the belief of the outside world and get back that belief prana of your world, the world inside where anything is possible, and get back that energy, that prana, that Merkaba, that life force, like in Star Wars, the Force, and put it back inside of you. So again, use every form of everything that resonates with you that we teach here, but resonate with it. Do not believe in it. You know, when you believe in it, you'll start to categorize and say that this thing is the right way, or this is this, and this is real. You know, this is a trap, and it starts harming you and others in your progress and theirs. It starts discrediting yourself and other people, and it starts severing this abundance and gratitude and love, the higher vibration that we can achieve. And it happens all the time. You know, people are like, well, I read the Bible and I do this, and so I know the real truth. And it's like, you see kind of what you sound like right now? Have you read about the Council of Nicaea and how the Vatican controls a lot of what we read in the Bible, and how books have been kept out, and how it even dates back even before man to the mythologies? This picture of Jesus even used to be the baby Eros, which used to be Cupid. And these are the same Vatican individuals that use forceps to rip out the pineal glands of little kids and watch them scream and watch them and torture until they slit their throats and drink their blood, and it's like, you still believe this, man? Like, have you done any real research besides the indoctrinated mindset of the group cult thing? And this is why a lot of people can't handle the gut checks of my work. I get it, because they don't read in 2022 no more, because it's WAP videos and it's following the Kim Kardashians and whatever, But has that ever taught you anything? Have you ever leveled up doing that? But now that you're leveling up and you're seeing the things in the world that are happening, and you're in your process too, but don't look down on others that still are learning or aren't in their process. Everyone levels up at a different time. Not everybody wakes up at the same time in the morning. What I want you to do when you're leveling up is take your hand and hold it down for somebody and pick them fucking up with you. That's what I'm trying to do here. Be a leader, a decision maker, because we need more of them in the world today, gods and goddesses. And when you notice somebody's trying to keep you down, get away from that parasite. That's an energy vampire. When you see this shit in the news that's going on to harvest your energy, cut that shit off. Get back in nature. Moral of the story: use your tools, don't let your tools use you. Okay? So, You know, y'all know me. I love to go on my rants and my raves. I mean, I do this for you. I do this for my son in the future to watch one day. And you know, I just want my pioneers to be prepared for what's coming. Only the uncommon 1% adopt this mindset that we're teaching here. And that's why only 1% of people in life succeed. And only the uncommon 1%, the chosen ones, the pioneers here still today watching this video, can see this. And if it was easy, then everybody in the world right now would be doing it. They'd be here, this fucking video would be going viral. You know? Because they'd be following their hearts and their mindsets, working on their higher selves, being themselves. But only 1% of people wake up early, stay up late, go to work early, doing the hard work, and go the extra mile. Only the 1% do this, empower themselves. Only the 1% make sacrifices, little and small sacrifices for bigger and better things. You know, they're the only ones. And I want you to be part of this 1% that plants seeds that you can eat in the future one day. Be part of this uncommon 1% that is being made in the world that we are watching shift in front of our very eyes right now today. So many people want to hang out at the fucking finish line, and almost nobody wants to run that 5K, that 10K marathon race. Only a small few do the work, and only a small few, 1% of those few, take accountability and responsibility for where they are in life right now today. And this is why only the uncommon 1%, the pioneers here on the Daily Candle Close News, and the others like us out there in the world that are vibrating on this frequency are gonna make it. No one is in your way except for you. Your emotional intelligence and intuition will offend any and everyone that cannot resonate on your level, that cannot understand you, that cannot run game on you. Become both the internal student and the master at the same damn time. So again, certainly hope you're all doing well. Sending you all much love and high vibrations out to wherever you are in this matrix and galaxy. We'll go ahead and get into the cryptocurrency technical analysis and look at things like Bitcoin on the weekly time frame. And just look at that real quick. You know, we've been in this firmament dome, you guys, on the weekly time frame. This has been a great chart in this descending wedge after a macro first time ever ABC large corrective wave pattern that we were able to prepare you for months and months ago in one of our episodes. So this weekly time frame that I wanted to talk about for just a minute it's important. It shows us this firmament dome that we've been just waiting to break out of. And again, it's something we brought up in one of our last videos, which ties us into the firmament that it talks about in Genesis. You know, go and read Warner Von Braun's tombstone, and then go read the Bible verse that was, you know, written on his tombstone, and that lets you know that we never made it past that firmament, that God's hand has always won. So the architect, the demiurge, whatever you believe in, the tetragrammaton, Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh, again, all of these ancient scriptures and things have hidden truths in them with a lot of lies in them as well. So it's all about paying attention to this dome that is your free dome. You're free in your mind, your crown chakra. In Latin, crown means corona. The outermost part of the sun during an eclipse is called the corona. We have 2 eclipses coming up. So one thing on this date, on this weekly time frame, is Bitcoin has just been battling to get back above and break back out of this firmament. Again, if Warner Von Braun is telling us that rockets never made it out of the firmament, then this firmament analysis that's really experimental has been something that we've been paying attention to for quite some time. Recently, we were happy, and we started out being sad when Bitcoin fell to 17.5. That was a no good opportunity. But we accumulated some altcoins, etc. Bought the dip. We didn't trip. Diamond hands because we got a diamond mine. All right, and we longed the market at that point to be able to de-risk towards 28K up until August 15th, which was the Richard Nixon shock, and we were happy up at this moment. Top side of a bear flag that we had been talking about on a lower time frame, holding a parabolic parabola that we had talked about as well. But boom, then we started getting sad after a sell-off. Very manipulated due to the Nixon shock of 1971, 52 years ago. So we was able to document this and share with you why we saw this volatility price action in advance. So to continue to see this weekly just come back and show us this very possible W pattern breakout that we have been talking about. We have this very sophisticated move by the market maker to liquidate the shorts on the way up and then liquidate any more longs right after. This very 9/11 2001, this very 9/11 like candle structure that we like to pay attention to. So very esoteric, very sophisticated move by the market maker. On the smaller time frames, we're going to share with you why our pioneers should have been able to take advantage of so many of these ranges in this sophisticated move right here. We were just approaching this firmament, so on the weekly, that is just something we know is going to be key moving forward. This is the start of the 37th week of the year. Yesterday on September 12th, we know that's the 3 sevens, like the jackpot in the casino. 7 plus 7 plus 7 is 21. But this 37 is very, very important number. And it's leading into next week, the 38th week of the year, which will lead into the end of the Rosh Hashanah and the Shemitah. And we know using numerology and gematria, Shemitah gives us that 38. So that 38 with the end of the Shemitah and the start of the next Rosh Hashanah, Jewish Hebrew New Year, that week is going to be very important. Right there around the 18th and 19th, which will be the Queen's funeral. So very, very important time period, a Sunday and a Monday. Sunday, the day of the sun, Monday, the day of the moon. Bitcoin is highly tied to the sun. It is the artificial sun created by Satoshi Nakamoto, things that we go over here. So just very important, some things that I've been noticing. Daily time frame, real quick, just massive rejection today. Right now, down. This ended up closing down 9.9%. In the year of Jupiter, Jupiter equals 99. We just talked about this in our last video. But it closed down $2,228 in the 2022 year. Just that 222. Very esoteric on the 13th. And I'm going to share with you why this was so important. So let's continue to break this down. We've been constantly moving to the upside like we most recently talked about on these smaller time frames like the 2 hours since this previous bear trap, and the bulls were just working as high as they could. And I gave this idea to you guys way back here in one of my recent videos around, I want to say it's around the 18th, you guys, and I could be wrong. But in one of my most recent videos, I gave this area to you guys about how if we could not get past this 21,500 range, that it could be very important because we could roll over and bounce. And I mean, that's exactly what we did after the Fed meeting. Very manipulated. Bang. So after a bear trap, which we prepared you for this one as well, we said we were in a descending triangle, a bear pennant. We talked about this rejection that we did not get and a hold of support above this psychological $20,000 range with a flipped and held support of 1993. So after a bear trap, what happens? Well, the bears get punished. bullish patterns are going to play out at a higher percentage because the bears are going to have to cover and buy back in to offset their losses. So that's why we saw this epic run up for the Bitcoin bulls that just got trapped at, well, guess what? You won't even believe it, you guys. We got past 21.5, our horizontal trading range, which is our previous 2-hour candle trading structure that we failed to hold support of. Fed meeting on a Friday, institutional, pre-baked in before the weekend. Okay, so then what did we see right here today? On the 13th, the day that I said in the previous video was the day that the CPI ratings for August and its inflation rating came out. Well, guess what, you guys? It came out saying that the inflation ratings today were 8.3%. And I mean, I guess call me crazy, but synchronicity means a lot to me. We are coming out of August. We talked about Warren Buffett recently, and the month of August being just, a kind of euphoric month, a month where it seems to be like these apex predators seem to take profit in a euphoric rally before a national preparedness month of September and October, fourth quarter, where we tend to see some volatility. So Warren Buffett's birthday was 8/30, the 83 date. The Shemitah equals 38, the mirror of 83. Another way to write out the Shemitah is SHEMITAH, giving us the 83 as well. So the August inflation ratings show a 8.3%. I'm just not surprised by this. It's always by the code and to an algorithmic code. But then, knowing all of this, we knew that the ratings were going to come out today on the 13th, which was a 13-day time period to the end of Rosh Hashanah and the Shemitah. And then on the 2-hour time frame, we see after we hit our 223, our skull and bones de-risking level that we teach you about, the horizontal trading range, most important than any pattern, any Fibonacci, anything else. We then jump back up to a previous range that we've talked about and prepared you for 3, almost 4 months now, the 227, another de-risking range. Everything red was de-risking, everything green was accumulation. We know this going back in time. So it was not surprising to then see on the 13th, 13 days before the end of Rosh Hashanah and the Shemitah, this red candle, after we hit our top ranges where the bulls get trapped, Bitcoin fall down $1,300, 5.9%. All of this in the year of the tiger. Oh, sorry, I spelled that wrong. Giving us 59. You cannot make this up. Shiva, the goddess of destruction, gives us 59 and 16. Okay, today was 1 week, 6 days till the end of the Shemitah and Rosh Hashanah, tying us into Shiva and the 16. You cannot make this up. The Dow Jones at one point today it had ended up closing this candle today down obviously $1,276, but for the longest it was just setting down 256 points or percent, or however you want to do that for the Dow Jones, before it even fell lower. And that's because today was the 256th day of the year. Why did we see this sell off today on the 13th? It has a lot to do with, like I teach you guys, the 13 is the 13th card in the tarot deck, the death card, the transmutation state. But also, more importantly, I believe it had a lot to do with this 64. There were 64 pieces on a chessboard, and we just saw the queen go down. This is Bitcoin's 13-year anniversary. The occult all use the 13 lunar cycles, the 13 zodiacs, because of the 13 bloodlines. So this is not retail panic selling today. This is not the weekend where we tend to see that on a Friday or a Saturday. This is institutional traders and sophisticated leverage traders, institutional traders that had stop losses set, and they were triggered to an algorithmic pre-programmed code. So very, very important that we go over that and just continue to reiterate this so you can learn how to see this and, do it yourself. Learn how to trade yourself. So very important. So a bearish retest right now would be something on the 2-hour time frame. Quick second to look at this. We'll just look at the 223. If we were to get a bearish retest of this, this roughly 20,000 psychological range, well, we're still holding that. So I would say either this 20,800, 20,900, which is your 223, 322 skull and bones, moving averages, exponential. A bearish retest of these, and then a comeback down with a lower low, a break of 1993. We're looking for lower prices. That's plan A, 26 letters in the alphabet. Let's talk about a plan B real quick. Bearish retest would be definitely this 34, which is this 215. Bearish retest, come back down, either double bottom before coming back up, or any lower than this, we'll be seeing a lower price as well. But that's pretty much upside potential. That median, that'd be nice to see. 21.6 held support above 21.5 of the Bollinger Bands. That would be pretty good on the 2-hour time frame for Bitcoin. But this really isn't surprising. On the CPI rating date, coming up on the 21st is the Fed's next meeting where they'll talk about these ratings, and we know there's nothing they can do about the inflation. We know this is all controlled demolition of the economy to move us into a more blockchain, slavery, globalist, socialist monetary system. So we know this, not surprising. So right now for Bitcoin, until the bulls can get back above this 21,800, instead of, 22,800 instead of $23,000, price action, then that's going to be pretty bearish again. We're just in a long, drawn-out accumulation. We could see this bought up in a V-shaped recovery. RSI on the 2-hour time frame is oversold, underbought. Histograms are starting to wane off in volume. We had a large volume come in the market, so that's not surprising. But what could be possible is, like we were talking about, this very respected trend line. Another continuation past 181 all the way down to, that 15K range. This 15 number around the queen and everything we talked about, the tiger year, and I'll be right there around September 21st, the next Fed meeting, to around 14K, 143, I believe is 143. If I'm not mistaken, that's the 44th prime number, and no, definitely not. I want to say that's a prime number of some sort, but either way, that could be very interesting, the structure, if we were to continue to see a break of structure over time for this, and these bulls up here just continue to get punished to the downside. Where will the next bear trap come in? That's going to be something key to pay attention to moving forward in these markets. Excuse me, another drink of water. We don't want to see more downside. More downside, that's a bad case scenario for the bulls. But plan B, let the price action tell you what to do. If we get up here, break above these levels that we know are important, we want to see these bulls get the price action back above 237. back above this bear flag and hold support. Break above this heart line. If we can break back up into the pattern, we can buy the breakout with our favorite altcoins, 2, 3, 5x leverage, and shoot for that 28 to 33k range. This is kind of like an American football game, you guys, and you got to be Peyton Manning, the greatest audible calling quarterback ever. You can't go into a game and line up with the ball and not have an audible. You got to constantly call plays based on what the defense is doing. There are certain people, the apex predator, that need to be, watched regularly. They're watching you. They're watching every play that you make, and you don't want to throw an interception here. You don't want to lose your money. Okay, so you can't be a follower. You got to be someone that is an action taker and someone who can score touchdowns, and that's by being able to read the audibles in the market. So I love to speak in metaphors and just make it fun, you guys. But people make this market harder than what it is. And if you're watching 20, 30 different YouTubers out there, someone's telling you this and someone's telling you that, let the fucking charts tell you what to do. We posted this for the Dow Jones not too long ago, before the 8th, before the Queen passing and seeing this bear trap, and it was talking about the Dow Jones on the daily time frame and how we could possibly be seeing this, maybe Elliott wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which might be invalidated now. Who knows? Probably more than likely. We got rejected from the 382. That's not a good sign. Fell back into the 236. It just looks like downside from here, and we've shared a chart in the past, going back in time, how during the Shemitah year, we tend to see the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and even the one Shemitah year we saw Bitcoin do these things and set lower lows. So that's not surprising, okay? But we even shared how we could see this bullish breakout and this, these levels and moving averages could be something to pay attention to. And we had just broke out down here on the 6th, 7th, and 8th, right as the Queen was passing away. And what were we looking for? We were looking for a move in Bitcoin, upside ideas based on the stock market. You guys, we got to pay attention to the stock market correlating with Bitcoin, Bitcoin correlating with the altcoins, the dollar, not correlating with either of those, because when the dollar is going good, that's bad for stocks and crypto. And recently we've just seen the dollar just going absolutely euphoric. This is the 2-hour time frame, not the chart. I want to see, we're just still back above our previous high. Came back to retest basically the 618 and the 702. This is bullish, you guys. People talking about the dollar decreasing and backing off for a little bit, and it's like, I don't know about y'all, but you're not seeing what I'm seeing. I'm still seeing this 1618, roughly 111. Bitcoin hit its top on 1110, 111, and just this very symbolic occultic angel number. I don't think people are seeing and paying attention to the same indicators here, but potentially we could load alts if we were to see this continue to pump up high. That's going to pull Bitcoin and the altcoins down. Bitcoin follows the stock market, but it goes against the dollar. This is the biggest financial opportunity of your lifetime, is learning some of these trades, is because we have an edge, a statistical advantage based on what the stock market's doing, the dollar's doing. We can find confluence on the Bitcoin dominance chart and just keep killing it daily. Bitcoin dominance needed this. Obviously it pumped straight back up after setting a new lower low, but the Bitcoin dominance has always been a low in the downtrend since its inception. So to see this pump down and then see the altcoins pump up some, then Bitcoin start to pump. Now we're starting to see this get a little bit of a correction. We'd like to see this continue to go down, to be quite frank. And it's really hard to say. Bitcoin dominance doesn't work the way it used to 3, 4, 5 years ago when you were viewing the charts, when there was like 2,000 cryptos versus 22,000 cryptos in the 2022 year. So, it's very important to still pay attention to all of these indicators. So, very important, irrefutable, undeniable. Where are we going next with this? Bitcoin daily time frame. I don't know what chart that was on. We'll go with this. 55. We got the 55. We'll go on the daily time frame. That's perfect. This is a range we were recently talking about. This 20,000 psychological range. This 1993. Guess what? Well, we came back to it. Not surprising, you guys. Horizontal trading ranges are absolutely the best thing with Wyckoff method and a few other tactics that I have found. So recently, over the past few days, we saw this uptrend, and now we are right back into where we were, holding previous structure. So a lot of I've been talking recently about this 21, which is this yellow, the 34, which is going to be your red. That's an important one to hold support of, and this 55, which is your green. And I've been recently speaking a lot about this being a big trend indicator for deciding moves in the market, especially on the smaller time frames. But as long as we're below this, we're going to be bearish. If we can get back above and hold support, that could be the early signal of a trend reversal to this 28K de-risking range before this 322 and this 37 de-risking range. Now, we don't quite have confirmation yet until we get back above this, hold multiple daily closes. This stock RSI, it can show we can cool off. This RSI at a 45, it can show room to grow. But we're going to have to see these kind of match up. Both these indicators that are momentum indicators matching up. This MACD on the daily time frame. We're starting to lose volume. We're still below the zero, you guys. We need to get this signal line in the MACD up above these histograms and in the bullish posture, and to continue bullish histograms forming as well in the daily time frame. Let's look at the weekly. That we could see that possibly happen. So monthly as well, still very bearish. Still very bearish, not showing any slowing in, let's say, I like to say seller exhaustion. I could be using that as a term to some people, to each their own. I don't care. So weekly time frame, again, just hoping that we see a very bullish low with a higher low W pattern breakout, very similar to what we kind of saw back in 2018 before continuing up even higher before the end of the year, and then seeing a correction. So weekly time frame, this 21 getting back above this 200, that would be bullish. This is very bearish right now, and if this 34 was to get below this 200 as well, then we could very potentially be seeing some of these lower ranges we've talked about. So definitely very, very important. All right, you guys, let's continue this. Not sure where we want to go from here, but we talked a lot about the dollar currency index, and now I think we're just gonna have a little bit of fun, look over the notes, make sure we've talked about each and everything that we wanted to before we just sign out of here. I've really been feeling myself and tapping into this creativity mode that I've been in, and I want to be giving you guys my all for free, spreading the word, the high vibrations, the frequency, putting out my truths and preparing people for the events that we're going to see in this realm manifest very, very soon. So again, weekly time frame. Bollinger Bands. Top side of the Bollinger Bands could take us to this 32 too, you guys. Skull and Bones. Any traders or analysts out there that have been watching this, you know that the top side of this Bollinger Band on the weekly time frame, we can see it, you know, there's no doubt. Going back in time, we tend to ride this thing. So this could be something to pay attention to as well. Gosnian channel, you know, something we brought up, you know, still hasn't flipped green, but I don't plan for it to until probably next year sometime after, you know, first quarter near end of the fourth quarter this year. So SMA. Let's hide the EMAs. Alright, so getting back to this 200 simple moving average with a bullish breakout on the weekly could be very good. This 8, we're just failing to close above it. That's not good. But clearly right now, forming a bullish engulfing if we can continue to close this by Sunday coming up. You know, a few days away, so let's see. You know, a lot can happen between now and then. But this 55, it's in right there at around 39, so that 38K near the 38th week of the year, starting around 9/19, 7 days before the end of Rosh Hashanah. This 38 week of the year and this 38K, this could be amazing. You know, anybody that's watched my work should know this could be where we could see some wild, unpredictable times. We know the market's looking oversold. We know, again, that DXY is overheated for sure. And indices are just overreacting from some very key golden pocket ranges. And if you're paying attention to these episodes and taking notes to the work that we're doing here, you know we're due for some relief in this market. You know, and we've been hitting resistance perfectly in certain ranges. And this is a perfect time to build your strategy and thesis. I mean, look at our previous liquidity range that we hit. We failed to get back above it. We came down, got into this liquidity range, got rejected. From 25K, fell 25 days down, pumped up, came back, retested the top side of this liquidity range. Basically that 20,000 psychological or that 1993 range. We even hit 1993 perfectly, you guys. I mean, you can't make it up. So, very important. Alright, this is Mercury station in retrograde. And, you know, this is something I've been sharing with you for, you know, months and a year now. And we've been perfectly just pumping into Mercury in retrograde. Coming back to back test this previous horizontal trading range of failed support around 1993, perfectly back testing this, you guys. You know, perfect setup for building a position right here, I do believe, not financial advice. And now that we're here and we're seeing this being explosive after it's been just completely suppressed, I just want to say congratulations if you've been taking advantage of these lower ranges. You know, a lot of people were getting overly excited about this pump that happened recently, and it's like, this is nothing new for Bitcoin. It does this shit all the time. Even if we go back in time, we can see just massive. I'm not too sure what I just did right there, you guys. There we go. But I mean, Bitcoin pulls off these moves just regularly. Damn, I'm really confused on what I just did, saying I lost my track. But don't get lost in the emotional, explosive moves. Like I said, on the 13th today, in the 13-year anniversary of Bitcoin, we fell down $1,300, 5.9% in the year of the tiger, all the way back down to our 1993 trading range horizontally that we prepared you for. You know, just seeing this bullish alligator mouth, this bullish posture just fell. We fell straight down to our 322 exponential moving average right after we hit and had a low on the previous candle where we got rejected from 227, our previous range we prepared our pioneers for. This low candle was $22,300.59. So I'm able to look at this without making any emotional calls and looking and seeing it for what it is: symbolic, esoteric, algorithmic. So if you haven't seen my work, please go watch it. It's some of my best work to date. I put out in the last week, you know. So boom. This was our Mercury station in retrograde chart, and that is very bullish, you guys. That's gonna leave it there today. We'll talk about Ethereum real quick because we have been bringing that up, and it's falling, which is something we knew could happen all the way. Even, you know, if we were to continue, right now we have a trend line forming of some sort, which is just tertiary. It means absolutely nothing, but, you know, kind of perfect support being held right now. If we were to see a bounce come in a structure on the RSI, you know, we're kind of oversold, underbought for Ethereum. So this could be a very healthy pullback. We'll have to continue to view out on larger time frames like the daily, the weekly, smaller time frames to add confluence to this. But the MACD as well, still in bearish posture. So we could still continue to see Ethereum not hold this 15 level range. That 15 is so important, remember that. And then fall all the way down to this 12. You know, we prepared y'all for this $1,200 possible Ethereum, this possible $1,400 Ethereum again. A lot of these numbers are tied to Ethereum and numerology. So XRP, well, you guys, I mean, we're sitting at 332. 332 is a Fibonacci and a prime number, and it's not 332, it's 233. So just a mirror of that is a Fibonacci and a prime number. But we failed to get back and hold support of this 236. That's bearish. We could be coming back to accumulated this 322 skull and bones, where we know we tend to get a fucking rally from, you know. So when we fall below that, we want to short the market and, you know, long the market above this 322, 223. It's just simply that easy for XRP right now. Okay, until this is just very common to a dead cat bounce, you know, a buying climax, selling climax, with, you know, a potential rallying structure that held support of the 0.5, got past the golden pocket but couldn't break the top. So, you know, ultimately setting, you know, a failed higher high in structure, so not showing continuation. Got this very M-type pattern before sell-off. Alright, before August, let's see, that was August 15th, yeah, Richard Nixon shot for XRP roughly. So we shot up past this 36 cent and just this very obelisk, phallus of Osiris, this, you know, needle-like structure XRP loves to do, faked out on all the movement averages before breaking all the way back down to this 236. So, you know, anything can happen from here. It's pretty much a dead cat bounce right here until we get back above this 36 cents. Not much to say for XRP, and even then we're entering a red hot, anything can happen at this 702 zone. So boom, 88, same thing, 236 from our recent fib pool. Not good area. Zilica, we obviously see where that's at, recent fib pool, not good. Accumulation, especially if we can hold a higher low, that could be good over time. Alright, you guys, we'll leave it at that one. Hope you've enjoyed this video. looking over my notes really quick, we talked about the CPI ratings coming out on the 31st today, or on the 13th today. And another reason to make sure you know why that's so important is because the CPI ratings gives you the 31, the mirror of 13, and you wonder why Bitcoin fell $1,300 on the day that the CPI ratings came out. And why I was able to tell you about this day, a couple of videos in advance on the 13th. It's all, pre-programmed into an algorithmic code. So while we got BlackRock out here saying Europe could spiral into a very severe recession, and powerful firms across Europe are warning about an unprecedented liquidity crisis, and property developers across China are experiencing an unprecedented liquidity crisis, and we see nations around the world are bracing for a potential sovereign debt crisis, are you getting ready? Are you building the mindset of a pioneer that's going to be able to provide a livelihood for their family for the years to come? Because I done told you, get your popcorn ready. The stage is set and the world is a show, you guys. The next Fed meeting is on the 21st, and we know the 21st, 22nd tends to bring a microstructure reset and, recycle to these markets. So we better be paying attention. My work over the course of the last few years has been designed to help you realign your moral compass, purge your shadow, become more financially free and stable, because to become financially secure and stable, because financial freedom, we know, is a lie that they give us. It's an indoctrinated construct built by man. So there's working a 9 to 5, you guys, and there's knowledge of self, and there's having a degree, and there's knowledge of self. So with all that being said, you guys, take care and God bless. We'll see you all in the next one. Pioneers rise, build your fortress, and build your legacy.